Hello, everyone. Hi, Douglas. It's my
Hi,
pleasure
Michael. How
to
are you?
introduce. It's my pleasure to introduce and welcome Douglas Horn. Douglas is the chief architect and the white paper author for Telos. He also leads the Telos core developers. As we all know, Douglas is the founder of GoodBlock, which is one of the top 21 block producers for Telos network. GoodBlock is behind many of the projects that we know about: dstore, Telos Decide, dRealms, and many more, and sentiment tokens, and many more. Welcome, Douglas. It's great to have you here. Please take it away from here.
Thank you very much, Michael. First of all, I want to thank you for being the driving force behind Telos World. First a year ago, and now in 2020. I think it's a great initiative, and I really appreciate the work that you have done to pull it together. So thank you very much. Welcome, everyone, to Telos World 2020. I'm pleased to be speaking with you today. This is our second annual Telos World Convention. Last year, we held it just a few weeks after launching the network, and we were still taking care of a lot of updates and bug fixes, and it was a little bit crazy. Today, just 1 year later, Telos has grown into a strong blockchain and community with well over 50 block producers that are compliant and have proven that they can support the network. We have real dApps and real users now on Telos. We have the most advanced form of working blockchain governance, which continues to evolve and improve. We have a number of exciting tools launching that exist nowhere else. And most importantly, we have a passionate user base that is invested in the future of Telos, votes to determine its outcomes, and proposes their own ways to make Telos better through Telos Works. That's a remarkable amount of progress for a first year. Everyone involved should be extremely proud of our combined efforts. I've said many times, the Telos founders are the people who are here in our first year building this community and movement. So congratulations, Telos founders. What you've accomplished so far is a really big deal. And it's still early, so there's still people coming in. You can still be founders as well. We're building this together. When Michael asked me for the title of this presentation, I suggested Telos 2020, the year of adoption. Telos has existed in this idea since the middle of 2018. We're already spanning 2 decades. 2018 was a year of gestation for us. We saw the need that existed for Telos and proposed what it would be. But most of 2018 was spent really getting ready to bring it to life. We developed important new features like BP rotation and kicking non-producing BPs. We built our own custom voting system for things like work proposals and amending our governance. We even created our first initial IPFS system for managing documents. That year of gestation culminated in the birth of the Telos mainnet in December, setting the stage for the building that would happen over the year 2019. At the start of last year, we were certainly ready technically to start launching dApps on Telos, but the dApps were reticent to join us. And that made sense. Telos had few users and unknown token liquidity, and we were on very few exchanges to start. We knew that we needed to have more in order to give everybody the confidence to come and build on Telos. But there was a chicken and egg problem. We needed funds to get onto exchanges, and we needed to be on exchanges to get those funds. Everything seems a lot easier when you look back on it because you don't have to do the work anymore. So those were frustrating times, and we managed to progress past that because some really hardworking people gave it their all to solving those problems. Most of them were working on the Telos Foundation board, which was unpaid for most of 2019, in fact. Through grit and sweat, that group of contributors moved Telos forward to solve so many of our problems: exchange listings, wallet supports, building the needed tools, funding expos and participation in other marketing groups, joining industry trade associations. The group of Telos meanwhile, the group of the Telos core contributors expanded. Most people were working, and now more and more people were working, so more work could be done. When we activated our work proposal system, now calling it Telos Works, we unleashed a new groundswell of support. And when we expanded the program's funding with Telos Economic Development Plan, this took another great leap. The Telos contributors group grew again. People were eager for opportunities to improve Telos with their own work and talents. That's important. Now, a really important point here is we built these improvements ourselves. We are, yes, the beneficiaries of excellent ongoing EOS.IO code development from Block 1, like any EOS.IO chain. But the elements that have really been consequential in Telos's growth have been those that we designed and built for ourselves, or that came from our community. The funding provided by Telos Works and Telos Foundation grants have allowed us to build this kind of network, expand it, and market it. All of that value was created without any kind of outside investment. To me, that is a truly incredible story, especially now in 2020. The antidote to jaded ICOs and pump and dumps that are still so prevalent in the industry. So 2019 was our year of building. And what we built ourselves, and with the help of our new contributors who kept on joining us, inspired by this story and wanting to be part of it. By the end of that year, we had a number of apps built on Telos and a number of tools and exchanges. We had done a lot in 2019. The road that got us to today is important to remember because it gives us perspective on where we'll go tomorrow. The problems we tackled in 2018 and 2019 seemed very daunting at the time, just as the challenges we face today seem daunting. But together, we've accomplished a lot. The accomplishments ahead of us loom large. We want to get listed on a premier exchange. We want to onboard a wealth of new dApps and enterprise users. We want to find the balance between the spending that we need to grow the network and the sell pressure on exchanges. These challenges seem hard. They are hard, but they're no harder than what we've already done. And we'll tackle them in the same way that we tackled those challenges. And by next year, we'll look back on them as solved problems that seem so much easier than whatever we faced at the time. 2020 is our year for adoption. I firmly believe it. I believe it for a number of reasons. 11 years after the Bitcoin Genesis block, we are finally at a time when users and industries are waking up to the possibilities of blockchain that so many of us have been touting for years now. Society has heard it enough times to start becoming accustomed to the concept of blockchain, even if they don't know what it is yet. More importantly, blockchain itself is finally ready for reaching the technological and infrastructure point where we can do useful things. EOS.IO and Telos are a very big part of this. We are, at this moment, and for the past several weeks, the blockchain with the second highest number of daily transactions in the world, second only to EOS. We have proven our capacity, and we are, even now, preparing to give Telos a huge boost in speed, 10 to 16 times more capacity, in fact, by deploying EOS.IO 2.0 over the next few weeks. But the reason I believe Telos specifically will experience a massive flood of adoption in 2020 are, again, the unique tools that we have built and are building. 2020 will see an unveiling of a raft of new features and infrastructure services on Telos that will stand out from everything else in the blockchain world. That's exciting. What are these tools? Well, it's actually a long list. I'm going to share some of the top ones now so you can see why I think these unique tools will drive dApps and users to Telos in ever-increasing waves. We have to start with Telos Works. It's already one of the most advanced and expansive projects of its kind. We have over 100 proposals already. I mean, can you believe that? Telos Works brings new users to Telos and has already been called by some our first killer app. But Telos Works is about to get better. Thanks to the work of a lot of people, within days, we're going to release an update to the voting so that users can finally vote with their tokens that are staked in Rex. Cycles are also being upgraded to milestones that can be for different amounts, for example. These are fine-tuning innovations, but we're working to make things better. And soon we may be voting on updating the passage requirements for any proposal based on community feedback and what we're seeing. We are constantly innovating and optimizing our systems. And that's exciting because we are one of the very few chains that has the ability to do this. Now, Telos Decide is my own personal view, is the true Telos killer app. We have taken all the things that make Telos governance a leader in the blockchain world, added a lot more, and then made the system available to any dApp on Telos. It's not just remarkable, it's revolutionary. Voting is hard, messy, expensive, but Telos Decide makes it easy. easy to set up a community, easy to set voting rules, easy to establish committees. And with the tools we're about to launch, it will even be easy for any group to make an app or website to use these features. Their users may not even realize they're voting on Telos at first. Telos Decide represents the first time a blockchain has extended this level of governance, power, customizability, and ease of use at the chain level, which means that it will advance quickly and securely without dApps needing to worry about the protocol level features. Telos core developers can work on those, constantly making it better. Telos Decide finally makes voting easy. Every homeowners association, condominium board, labor union, sports league, tribe, virtual company, student union, charitable organization, large town or small country could use Telos Decide to manage elections, committees, and funds. The need is great and it's ripe for disruption, and we're providing the tools that will revolutionize group voting. Login with Telos is coming soon, and it will allow you to log into a number of applications directly from your Telos account. It's a great ease of use feature. Fast account creators. We've recently released a feature that lets anyone create a Telos account in seconds using their phone number. It's great. It manages spam. You can't use it from a virtual phone number. It's so fast. And like pretty much everything else we do, this technology is available to any Telos app to use to quickly streamline their onboarding and account creation process. Telos accounts, social accounts, and wallets are here, and they're gonna get even better. Some time ago, we decided that we should make more out of Telos's ability to appear more like a social media profile. So we've added profile pictures, status messages, and more, and it's all easy to update. Of soon will be aliases, so you can have real names or handles in addition to your official account name. And you can already see this going, most of this in Squirrel Wallet, but it's about to expand even further. Our vision for wallets is that they're quickly going to grow into your personal portal to a new blockchain-powered internet. With wallets doing so much more, the name no longer seems sufficient. And we're starting to call this next generation, this next evolution of wallets, personas. And we think that we will make interacting with Telos and dApps more like a social media experience than ever before, which will help drive adoption. Of course, a big part of this move towards social media type blockchain features is the sentiment tokens. Sentiment tokens are the blockchain equivalent of the social media like, but with more power. And again, this is a Telos innovation. You'll be able to share with others which dApps or accounts earn your trust, or which one maybe they should distrust. Wallets or personas will be able to warn us before we send payments to sketchy accounts. And unlike other approaches to blockchain reputation, this will work whether or not those sketchy accounts choose to participate. But sentiment tokens offer a lot more. Games can use them as persistent badges for wins, losses, or special achievements. They can be certifications or ratings awarded by one organization or by whole communities. And these are not far off. In fact, sentiment tokens work today. We've built servers, and several wallets are in the process of integrating them. So when you look at that social media account in a persona, you'll know a lot more about the account than ever before, and you can share your thoughts about that account as well. Telos will make blockchain social unlike ever before. Identity services are another natural extension of this. For accounts that choose to do so, services like Gifty, which are already deployed on Telos, will manage identity information at different levels. We expect to start using this immediately, and the more services like these are going to be coming. Telos users will have the ability to prove identity when they need to, or remain anonymous as they choose. And the people transacting with them will know their status from their profile so that they can act accordingly. This greatly empowers users and builds the kind of confidence needed to fuel greater adoption. Of course, these features won't replace social media apps. If anything, they'll make Telos a more attractive network for them to deploy on. There are a number of social media dApps that have already announced that they're going to launch on Telos, such as Up and Unbiased. And I strongly believe, though I can't say anything specific, that we'll soon be hearing about even more of these coming to Telos. And not far off in the future, but relatively soon. Now, dStore is a development that my team has been working on very hard. If you haven't seen me as much around Telos, it's because we're all working so hard on dStore, because we're very excited about it. This is another revolutionary change. dStore will give Telos a massive boost in adoption. Decentralized storage is fast and secure, has long been a choke point in preventing dApps from reaching their true potential. Telos is going to have the first such system. It will allow Telos dApps to add much needed features that are truly decentralized. dStore should bring a number of new dApps to Telos and new users along with them. dStore not only brings dApps decentralized storage, but it provides computer users and data centers a way to easily make incremental income on their unused capacity. All the pay for dStore will be managed by Telos smart contracts paid in Telos. So all of the users and providers will be creating and using Telos accounts. 2020 will bring Telos NFT marketplaces where we can trade game assets, tickets, even tokenized ownership of art and real estate. I think one of them is going to be the D-Realms marketplace for game assets. Our trim plan is moving towards greatly easing resource management for all users while preserving the ability to stake Telos for eternally free transactions for those who choose to do this, which has always been part of the EOSIO promise. And we're already making great progress on this. We're moving quickly. I think that we're going to execute most of the trim plan, again, in weeks. IBC through Transledger will allow Bitcoin, Ether, and many other cryptocurrencies to be held and traded or used on Telos. These Telos-based transactions would be feeless and super fast, offering a real scaling solution for slower or congested proof-of-work blockchains. Transledger is very close to releasing its platform on Telos and other chains for empowering and easing cross-chain transactions. DeFi tools will be coming to take advantage of many of these new tools and functions. Already, payment platforms like SesaCash are on Telos. Stablecoins are coming as well. One following the footsteps of the EZAR, the world's first stablecoin pegged to the South African rand, which is a major currency on the continent. And this is on Telos, of course. With more such currencies on the way, Telos could become the first Pan-African currency clearinghouse. The Telos banker contracts already enable the rapid swapping of various Telos tokens, and these DeFi tools will get more of these and will provide a very high level of financial possibilities to Telos users around the world. Now, let's talk about the developing world. They're going to be especially eager for these offerings, and we've already seen this. African and Latin American nations are already proving to be ready adopters of the Telos platform. As developers in these countries utilize the powers of Telos Works and the ever-growing Telos toolset, they will quickly create new dApps and tools meaningful to their country and fellow countrymen. These countries are so ripe for new opportunities. Where they were often previously ignored, these groups will use Telos to build their own new economy and economic tools. This is not something that's going to happen in 2020. It is already happening. Premier exchanges. Now, before the end of 2020, we're very likely to see Telos trading on an exchange like Coinbase or Binance or Bittrex. We all recognize the need to be able to trade Telos on premier exchanges like this. Getting to that point has been a process, but it's one that's been in the works for many months now. We're getting closer to this goal every day. Our success in other areas will drive this. And when we do achieve it, it will open up Telos to even broader adoption. Rex rewards, by the way, are still a terrific advertisement for Telos to those who are most interested in the investment aspects of cryptocurrency, which is a lot of people. Telos offers the rare combination of high rewards from a low inflation, high development coin. We've been massively successful. Almost 70 million Telos are now held in Rex. That's a greater percentage of circulating supply than any other EOSIO chain. And yet the yield is still nearly 18% APR. And recent changes to Rex as part of the trim plan will bring even more funds to this pool as usage increases. People in the wider crypto community are only now starting to hear about this, and we can expect more interest as the year progresses. And of course, these are only the features that we know of today. By summer, I expect we'll be hard at work on new improvements that we haven't even thought of yet. And by fall, we'll probably have new features that we can barely even imagine now. We will build these on Telos because that's what we do. We look at our need, we build, we decide together, and we grow as a community together. Telos is a fast evolving network, both in terms of technology and governance. We have the ability to grow and adapt faster than almost any other chain. We've been doing this now for most of 2019, and 2020 will see even more such changes as both a cause and effect of the growing adoption that we are going to see over the coming year. Thank you very much for letting me share my excitement and vision for Telos in the year ahead. Enjoy the rest of Telos World 2020. Thank you very much.
Wow, that's a very inspiring talk, Douglas. I really enjoyed it. So it's looking back, it's great that we have come so far. It was like only yesterday that we launched the mainnet.
I
and
know.
all the things that happened in 2019 and all the things that we expect in 2020. It's amazing. You are an inspiring thought leader, Douglas. I am really glad
Thank you.
You're part of Telos. Now, tell us about yourself. What were you doing before Telos, and how did you come to the crypto space?
Well, that's a great question. So I had a very varied career. I would say I worked as a creative, thinking up ideas and executing them. But I worked in different industries. I worked as an inventor and producer of games. I worked as a writer and director and sometimes producer of films and television projects, sort of at the edges of Hollywood. And I did that for many years. And I had been, prior to that and all through that time, I had been a developer when I, in my younger days. And those are the things that I did. So I had a very sort of, wide spacing career. I came to crypto because I really loved it. It hit me. I discovered it at a time when I was just looking for something to be passionate about, and was really passionate about the ability for crypto to decentralize and sort of rebalance the power dynamic in the world, where I feel that we're currently in a world and increasingly moving towards a world where strongmen and authoritarianism and these things are, whether by governments or by corporations that are quasi governments, these are very much infringing on the privacy and rights and economic power of individuals. And I'm a believer in the individual to individual. I think that like countries that my country is supposedly at odds with, I'm not at odds with the people who live there. I would, I think that this big overarching national and corporate structure that's sort of imposed on us is unhealthy for humanity, and I think we could accomplish more without it. So I think that crypto and blockchain offers us the possibility, the tools that I hope the internet would turn into. And we all expected and didn't happen. I think this is our second bite and maybe last bite at the apple of really being decentralized and having more peer-to-peer based commerce and interactions amongst people than what we currently have. So that's what got me excited about crypto.
It's amazing that we have so many dApps being deployed on Telos, and the Telos Works is also amazing. Now, I think we are only the first blockchain to have the worker proposal system implemented. There is also one on Boss, I think, which is, I'm not much familiar with that. But this EOSIO tried and they could not succeed. But we in Telos were able to implement this worker proposal system, which is very great way of bringing in more talent and more people into the community. And of course, very side, right?
What's that?
And we have the Telos Decide, the voting system, which is excellent.
Yeah. So Telos Works it's certainly not the first work proposal system that's existed. There was there is a long running one on Dash. There are other chains have these. What's really unique about Telos compared to anything is, number one, everything is done entirely on a smart contract. It's all automated by the blockchain. And number two, anyone who owns Telos can vote. and anyone who owns Telos can make a proposal. It's wide open. Now, for some people, it might be too wide open, and we may have to optimize that towards more rules. But we wanted to start with it wide open because we didn't want to have preconceptions about what would be important and popular. And I think we're already seeing that. We're already seeing new things coming that we probably wouldn't have guessed. And we'll see what the outcome is from them. But yeah, it's been really successful. It's allowed us, everything we're doing, all our marketing, all these things are almost entirely outcomes of Telos Works. And yeah, you're right. When people come in to Telos and learn about it, they get really passionate. It's kind of, I think of it sometimes like we're mining human talent, right? You don't really mine Telos, and because how things work, and you can stake certainly and make a great rewards through Rex, 18%. Almost, I think it's 17.9% right now, due to all the success of people using it so much. But that's still great. You can do that, but mining, you can't really mine. You can't really set up a miner. But what you can do, which is really exciting and innovative, is you can say, hey, I love blockchain. I love Telos. I want to be a part of it. And you know what? I do this. I'm good at this. Let me do this for Telos if the Telos voters agree that that's a good idea. Right. And also nothing's eternal. Right. So if things don't if people don't deliver, then we don't vote for them in the future. Right. It's a way for us to try new things, see what works, and build our chain. Right. And I think that's very important. Right. Because it's an ongoing process, and it can adapt to changes as they happen. Right. That's actually the truly great thing about governance, right? Governance in itself, it sounds great, but what does it really do, right? What it really does is allow us to quickly make changes without splitting our community, right? And know that these changes have been arrived at fairly through rules that we agree on, and it means that we can advance much quicker. Right, we're now the fast breeding animal that is little mammal that is outpacing all the slow breeding dinosaurs. That's what it allows us to do, and it's very exciting. Governance for its own sake is interesting, but it's sort of wonky. Governance is a way to quickly address, discuss, and solve as a community the problems that are before us. That's what's exciting, and that's what is going to create so much adoption, because we're not stuck. We're not stuck with what we have now. We can talk about this as a community. One of the reasons that our community is so engaged and positive is that they don't have that feeling of powerlessness where whatever they talk about is just talk. What we talk about, we can do. And we've seen that people can come into Telos, have a real impact, and people come in and join the Telos core developers and contribute code. New BPs come in and make a big impact and rise up to the top 21, even though they've only been here for a few months. That's exciting. That is a dynamic growth blockchain, and it's what is going to keep driving us forward, because as other chains see problems, right, we solve problems. That's what we do here, right? You look at the Telos economic development plan. We had economic problems, right? We did our best, but then conditions showed us we had these problems. We solve those, or we address them. I don't know if you ever solve anything indefinitely. We improve those, and we'll improve them again as we need to. The same thing with our trim plan, right? We worked together. We didn't require a vote for that. We just got a bunch of people together and presented to the community, and now we're solving that problem. We were approaching being clogged with the rich coin mining, right? And that's actually dropped down. It's dropped down quite a bit, and that's exciting because it means that we are addressing our problems and fixing them. And now congestion is really not a problem anymore. And we did this at a time where we could start planning for the future and have a good plan, build it at our pace. I think that's exciting. That's the exciting thing about Telos governance to me.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Douglas. And we look forward to seeing you again during the course of this event as we go through all the other drafts that are going to be presented here. Thank you again. Thank you for your time. We are very grateful for your presence here today.
Thank you very much, Michael. I appreciate being here.